Okay, all right, let me quickly introduce my partners that start off the show with me tonight. Toby Adekboju is in the house. Toby, welcome.
Yeah, good to have me here, the league is on break, players and the coaches are trying to recess, and then we're expecting an explosive second stanza,
Okay.
Looks very great in the first stanza, after Giwa was expelled, we saw Rivers United leading the pack at the end of first stanza, and the Rangers dropping off,
Okay.
A lot of interesting moments, players get goals, coaches been fired, and I think, the atmosphere.
There's a lot to come. Okay.
We'll take into the second stanza that will kick off later this weekend.
Okay, all right. Onyemuchi Nwachukwu also joins us. He needs little or no introduction. He's the news editor of Sporting Live. Onyemuchi, always a pleasure to have you with us on Mondays and Wednesdays.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, let's start. He talked about it domestically, but I think we should start with our national teams. Let's start with the Super Eagles. Some of us were distracted on Friday, but of course the Super Eagles did the job in the friendly against Mali, and some say that's a difficult one. The one that looks much easier will be the game tomorrow against Luxembourg. So what's your reaction to the game on Friday and what you expect tomorrow?
I think it was a pleasant surprise. Last week, when you asked me, I said we should be modest in our expectations, because the team is at its lowest ebb. You have a new arrangement in terms of the technical crew. This is the first time that Salisu Yusuf, Mama Makakobo, and Kennedy Boboye will be working together as a technical crew. So, but from the lineup I saw, and we couldn't get to watch the game. I followed on Twitter, but I saw a lot of new guys trying to come into the setup, especially Musa Mohammed, who started and finished. In fact, the back line, the four players in the back line started and finished the game. Sheikh Abdullahi, we said it here that this is a player that has been unfairly treated. He was brought in under Keshi, Sunday Olise also adopted, but they kept on playing him
at right back.
And we said this guy is not naturally, yes, we understand when the natural player there is injured. They just simply converted this guy and made life miserable. He was being messed up. But against Mali, he played 90 minutes. And the reports we got was, in fact, that he was, apart from Kelechi, who scored, was the man of the match. So for me, what we need is continuity. We don't want what happened the last time. Kingsley Madu played that game. The last time he played before that time was against Chad in Kaduna a year ago. The subsequent coaches dropped him. We can't move forward if we keep on bringing and discarding players. We just want continuity. If they're going to stick with this, add 1 or 2 players, 3 players. Musa is not around. By the time they come, they can fortify the team. Okay. But for me, I think I'm satisfied with these young players. They gave us a glimmer of hope. They showed us that there could be some light at the end of the tunnel, and we just hope that they keep on improving.
All right, Toby, he talked about changing, but we're still in the same situation because whatever positives we take from this, nobody knows what the new coach will do.
Really, just like you said, we are not even sure, or we can say that Salisu might not continue with the job. This technical crew, we might say against Mali, they convince us, especially the invitation. You need to give it to them. Line up a lot of injection. We'll be clamoring to see Musa play from the right back position. We'll say Madu return to the team. You just mentioned Shehu Abdullah because I was with Shehu in Kaduna and I asked Shehu, have you been playing in this role at your clubs? I said no. He has been playing defensively or at war. Sometimes he tried to cover up at the central pier at the back, not from the right back. So I think what has really affected our players in the past is playing most of our players outside the regular position where they get to play week in, week out at club level. We need to understand that where these guys fit in at club level is also where we should play them at the national team for them to really, give their best. Just like when you said, a lot of positive from that game, but continuity is key. Are we going to continue with this technical crew? The new manager that might come in, might try to change bring a lot of changes. So we'll still have a long way, unless if the NFF decided to stick with this team, then we can start talking about continuity. Yeah,
you talk about an interesting point. Let me come to you this time. And why don't we get the best from our players? That's the question. You see some of these players, they play for their clubs, they do so well, they come to the national. It's not a problem that is with Nigeria only. We've talked about Lionel Messi, for instance, how he does so well at his club and struggles with Argentina. So how can we get the best from our player? Is it a problem with the coaches? Is it the administrators? Or is it foreign experts that can get the best? What exactly can we do to make our players give us optimal performance?
I mean, it's a difficult question. You see, I've seen a lot of players, when they leave, when they leave the shores of the country, they want to play for this country. For the first time, you see a lot of commitment. In Mali 2002, I remembered when Yakuba Egbeni was coming in, how enthusiastic he was. Then later on, decided that enthusiasm waned. What happens is that the structure is a problem. When you don't guarantee any player a regular shirt. Do you understand? When they are coming in, let them know that you are going to fight for a shirt. You are not Lionel Messi, you are not Ronaldo. You have to fight for a shirt in the national team. So when they have that at the back of their mind, they are likely to give in their best. But what happens most times is that these foreign-based players stroll into camp, they are guaranteed regular shirts. So they are human beings. They are mere mortals. So they don't give in their best. But when you know that there are players who are ready to take over your position, and the coach is willing to give those players the chance to play, like Westerhoff did in his time. Yep. Okocha was on the bench, was always telling Oliha that you are my man, you're going to play if you do well. Then they will sit up. Okay. Then there is this issue of the facilities here too. You can't take that away. Sometimes they play on terrible surfaces, and these players are used to lush green pitches, but decent facilities.
Sometimes weather.
Yeah.
Imagine playing 2 p.m. in Kaduna.
Very true, very true.
How can you play Saturday in Balogun in Kaduna at 2 p.m.?
Toure, we saw how he struggled at the last Nations Cup. In fact, the coach had to make the best out of him, sometimes coming in the second half, sometimes starting the game, but not completing. Because if you are playing in a very freezing weather and you are coming to the tropics, it's going to affect them.
Okay, all right. Let's step down and talk about the under-23 team. Injuries affecting Coach Sampson's here now, but not many of the players. But how will all of this affect? Because the question really that most people are asking is, will it be this same set of players that will be at the Olympics? He is ready for this one international now. So that's the question.
Yeah, for some Siasia that I know that have really studied well, I think Siasia will always stick with those guys that he has worked with for a long time. Okay. If you recall, when Siasia went to the
so then the injuries we're talking about will be a problem.
Segun Oduwa is a key figure to Samson Siasia team. He plays, I think, for the non-league side in Nigeria, but he's a key figure. I was in Abuja, and then I was a few meters away from the training ground, and I got the news that Segun got injured in training, and everyone felt bitter because everyone knew Segun has really worked out for this team, and he has been part of this team. And Siasia Wallistic is believed to the players he has worked with all over the years. Yes, Siasia might try and bring one or two experience, more quality, but I can bet the majority of these guys in camp, will form the bond of the squad that will go to.
Okay, so you don't believe that?
Yeah, one or two, three players might break in, but I think for a certain, since I said, Awoniye, the captain Azubuike,
all of those guys,
most of these guys, Epong Ekpai will always form the bulk of the team. Siasia is one manager that I believe in players he has worked with over the years, and I think that will be the belief we will take on. Yes, they're going for a pre-tournament now in Korea. We hope they could blend well. We hope they could gel well. Before I left Abuja, I think about 5 foreign pros was in camp, and the atmosphere was very fine, and it was very cool. I just hope they do well, try to blend well, and then most of the players is trying to bring in. One of 2 or 3 old players could come in very early for them to really kill into the structure of the team.
All right, let's leave the guys and talk about the ladies now. Let's talk about the draws that was done today. Talking about the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Well, Nigeria, I don't want to call it a group of death, but it looks tough. So let's just take a look at Groups A, Group B, C, and D. Africa has 3 representatives. The tournament is going to hold in Jordan. So a lot of interesting teams there. You have Group A, the host Jordan, Spain. Runners up the last time, Mexico, New Zealand, and in Group B you have Venezuela, Germany, Cameroon, and Canada. That's in Group B. In Group C, this is where our attention will be: Nigeria, Brazil, England, Korea, DPR, and in Group D you have United States, Paraguay, Ghana, and Japan. Let's talk about Group C before we go on a break. I know that you're very close to the ladies. You know a lot about female football. Does this really look like a tough group?
You're close to the ladies too.
No, I meant that by that you're close to the national teams.
Yeah. That's true. But yes, on paper, when you look at Brazil, North Korea, England, these are countries that have done well at that level. But when you also look at our team, consider the fact that we still have some players, experienced players, in quotes, at this level. Rasheedat Ajibade was at the last World Cup. She's in this team. I think she's the captain. I think we should move out of that group. But the problem is that in the last 3 editions, we've not surpassed the quarterfinal feat.
Yes.
And most of us are not even worried that we are not. The most important thing is that pick some players from this team to the Falconets, to the Super Falcons. Whether we win or not, for me, it's not important. Even though most Nigerians want to win everything. But this is an underage competition. The essence is to discover players, developmental purpose. The likes of Rasheedat Ajibade that I mentioned should be allowed. She's a hugely talented player. Should be allowed to move. They should allow the young lady to graduate to the Falcons. We need as many as possible in such talented players in the national team. We are talking of Ashisha Dosuala. We are talking of the other girl in France, Desire Paranozie. These are players, young players that could, bring a lot of options into the team. So as soon as this World Cup is over, whether we advance beyond the quarterfinal or not, they should graduate these players to the under-20 squads.
Okay, all right. So that's something watching for you. Saying winning the tournament shouldn't be top priority, but discovering players and giving them an opportunity to do what they know how to do is the real reason for this tournament. Let's go on a quick break. We'll be taking you to one of the matches played in the first stanza of the Nigeria Professional Football League. That's talking about the 2015-2016